We're on Season 2, Episode 3 of The Twilight Zone. This is Nervous Man in a $4 Room. Directed by Douglas Hayes, written by Rod Serling, of course. It's a one-room location, but the story has so many twists and turns, with a man battling his demons and also getting an offer from an evil mobster, that you almost don't notice that he doesn't leave this room, except for the title does give it away. So our main character is Jackie Rhodes, who is a small-time crook trying to be a big-time crook, and works for this guy named George, who gives them his next assignment, which is to shoot and kill a barkeeper. And if he doesn't do this, well, George, of course, will take care of Jackie Rhodes himself. He hands him a gun, and so Jackie is left with his dilemma. What is he supposed to do? The way that this unfolds is through him talking to himself in the mirror. This man in the mirror is, of course, telling him not to do it, and refers to himself as John Rhodes. So we get the dynamic of the angel and devil on his shoulder, represented as him, Jackie Rhodes, the bad guy, talking to John Rhodes in the mirror, the good guy. So he's having a battle with himself on whether or not he wants to carry out this murder. I gotta say, this guy George doesn't seem like a very good person to work with. You have to kill someone for him, or he's going to kill you. He doesn't even talk about paying him any money or anything like that. So of course the right thing for Jackie to do would be to get out of the situation any way he can. He's not going to make much or any money from this job. George is saying he's going to come back and kill him, and so he has to have this battle with himself. And the person in the mirror is much more calm, collected, dressed better. It is the best version of himself. While he is running around this $4 hotel room, so it'd be like a $45 hotel room in today's money, frantic, pulling his hair out, dressed in rags. I do like the fact that they gave the character in the mirror another name, John, because you can see this is the person that he can become. Maybe he'll have to change his name. Maybe they're trying to imply that he's done so many crimes in the past, so he might have to change his name to be accepted into normal society. And this is a hard role to pull off. He's essentially acting, well, with himself, since the person who portrays him in the mirror, even though he looks a lot different, is actually the same actor. Joe Mantel plays the character of Jackie and John Rhodes. And Joe Mantel was in Chinatown as Walsh, which was directed by Roman Polanski, starring Jack Nicholson and Faye Dunaway. And also in the movie The Birds, Two Jakes and Marty. And so in the beginning of this episode, we see him interact with George. In the middle, it's him interacting with himself in the mirror. And then George returns to figure out if Jackie has done the job. And he has his hands covering his face. And at this point, we don't exactly know if he did it or not. We never saw him leave this room, but it just skips ahead to when George comes back, and we get a nice ending where John Rhodes has taken over Jackie's body. So the good guy has won. He beats up George, he scares him off, and he decides to change his life. This is a good ending. I'm going to give this episode a 6 out of 10. It keeps you interested all the way through and makes use of its bare bones production. It also has an excuse to have the set look dingy. He is supposed to be in a $4 dingy hotel room, so it makes complete sense. Of course, you want to see more action, like him going up to this barkeeper. Maybe he reaches for his gun and then it cuts to him with his head in his hands and you're not sure what happened. Stuff like that would have made it better, but I still think it's a good episode and very well written by Rod Serling himself. In what could be a cliche topic, a guy just battling demons with himself, a criminal who's deciding whether he should do right or wrong. And if it was just him in the hotel room the entire time, which is kind of what I expected from the title and the way that Rod Serling introduced this episode, I'm glad that they have this extra character, George, who acts very different. He's confident. He thinks he's untouchable even though he gets his ass kicked at the end. He dresses nice. He's smoking a cigarette. And you can tell that he looks down at Jackie, thinks that he can just make him do whatever he wants. Go kill this person, go beat this person, I'm the boss. You're not going to do anything to me. Found out the hard way that wasn't the case. And the character George is played by William D. Gordon. Well, I had some acting credits. He actually ended up being a story supervisor for TV series like Chips, The Richard Boone Show, and a story consultant for Bonanza. You know, sometimes these actors transition into some other part of the industry that no one ever talks about or knows exactly what they do. Good for William Gordon, and I think he's actually the best part of this episode. He's so cool and confident. But if you're telling someone to carry out a murder, you can't then say, if you don't do it, I'm going to kill you. That's going to make them really hate you. Not that I know how to run a mob or anything, but it'd just be my thinking. You should have offered him money. Hey, I'll give you $5,000 to kill this person. So try that next time, George. You got to use the carrot and the stick. You're using a little too much stick. And apparently, as we see here, there's been a few references to this very episode. Not that this invented the man in the mirror thing, but as we see here in the sitcom Married with Children, the episode Proud to Be Your Bud, Bud Bundy, Lady Man himself, builds a portal in his basement and a clone himself appears and tells him that he's a loser and fights with him. Apparently that was a reference to this episode. He also did in 2.5 Men. So yeah, people take a lot from the Twilight Zone. Or I guess you could say they make a lot of homages to the Twilight Zone. And this last bit of trivia is interesting, but I think actually incorrect. And we'll go over why. At the top it says that Jackie Rhodes' character is the first to deliver the famous lines, "You talking to me?" while facing a mirror. Most people know these lines from the films Taxi Driver and Dirty Harry. But they first appeared in this episode of The Twilight Zone. Now, people do quote it from Dirty Harry, but it's mostly Taxi Driver, which I still think is my favorite Scorsese movie. Hot take. Not Goodfellas or Casino, though those are quite good as well. But let's compare the two scenes, because they are delivered way differently, and see if he's actually doing this homage or not. Or if it just kind of makes sense for a guy talking in the mirror to be like, "Yo, you talking to me? Huh? Me?
You talking to me? You talking to me? Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure you are. Now me in the mirror, we're having a talk.
And now the scene from 1976's Taxi Driver, starring a very young, slightly confused Robert De Niro who doesn't exactly choose the best places to take girls on dates.
You talking to me? You talking to me? Who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me?
So as you can see, those scenes are quite different. Now there's two theories on the Robert De Niro scene in Taxi Driver. Scorsese has said that the scene was inspired by Marlon Brando's mirror scene in Reflections in a Golden Eye. Then says that De Niro improvised most of the scene, as the script just had him talking to himself in the mirror, which if you watch the scene, it does seem improvised. He's muttering certain things, it's not clear what he's saying, he's obviously going crazy. So it seems like there's a combination of Scorsese's directing and Robert De Niro ad-libbing certain things, them cutting together the best parts, and then towards the end of the scene, he starts doing a voiceover. So I guess we could just say that both of them did it, but I don't think this was inspired by The Twilight Zone. If anything, it was inspired by Reflections in a Golden Eye, because that's what Scorsese says. So do we get to put a beyond belief, fact or fiction marker on this one? Next up is episode 4, A Thing About Machines. Check out our playlist for the other series that we've covered. We're doing every single episode of Twilight Zone, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Black Mirror, and Mystery Science Theater 3000 in order. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.